Hello everyone, this is Emily speaking from Couch English, channel dedicated to practical business English. If you follow our channel and watch the videos, you probably know that my experience originally stems from human resources area. Apart from that, I'm also involved in different kind of the business trainings. I'm a coach, and in fact today I would like to align those different kind of the backgrounds and experiences that I have, telling a little bit more about the skills-based organization. Probably for the very beginning, I will concentrate on the background and on the idea behind the skills-based organization. I think that it would be the best to compare the traditional approach to managing people, to managing business, and to introducing the organizational structures. Because if we think about that traditional organizational structure, probably we will understand that in the company we can have different kind of the departments, different kind of the divisions. People have their positions, professions, they have their job descriptions with very well defined scope of the responsibilities. Of course, I don't want to say that there is something wrong in that kind of the idea, but to some extent it can be a bit limiting. And why? Well, probably I would say it's even connected with our mindset. Because if we think about the skills-based organization, it entails a bit different kind of the approach, and it shows the reversed mindset, I would even say. Skills-based organization, that's the kind of the business, that's the kind of the company that starts from a little bit different point of view. It doesn't place the advertisements to the internet in which the company is going to look for certain types of the positions, and of course those positions are going to have that well-defined scope of the responsibilities. But what happens in that skills-based organization is that it first starts from thinking what kind of the outcomes the company would like to achieve, what kind of the strategy, goals, and initiatives the company would like to follow and accomplish. After they do it, which is still comparable, of course, to that traditional approach to organizational structure, but after they do it, they don't think about the positions, about the professions which are required to accomplish those goals, but they rather think about the skill set which is necessary. So that kind of the approach separates a bit the organization and its needs from that traditional mindset. Again, I would probably compare it from that traditional mindset in which we know that in that kind of the company, in that kind of the organization, we need 5 people working in HR department, 10 people working in marketing department, and so on. We rather think about the organization from that holistic perspective. So we understand that for the purpose of our goals, for the purpose of our future initiatives, we need a certain set of the skills, knowledge, and competences. And only then, when we already know what kind of the skill set is required in the company, we can proceed to people and assigning them to different kind of the responsibilities, duties, and projects. So again, still, what can be the difference if we compare that traditional approach to skills-based organization? Well, the difference is going to be connected, especially with the way how we are looking for those skills. Because it may happen that probably the company is going to be aware that they are looking right now for some kind of the skills for the new project. Let's say that the company would like to enter the new market. And normally what is going to happen is that the company or somebody who's of course the project manager of that kind of the initiative is going to calculate, well, for entering that market and being able of course to execute all the tasks and all kind of the responsibilities, I need certain amount of people, and those peoples, they have to hold different kind of the positions or professions. So it will be the simple calculation of the headcount. But in that case, if I have the skills-based organization, it will work that way that somebody who's responsible for that project is going to calculate what kind of skills are required. And of course, what is going to be extremely important, that person is going to calculate the capacity. So they will know that for the purpose of that project, the skills of negotiations, the skills of analysis, and probably the whole list of the other ones are extremely important. And going a step further, that calculation will mean, okay, so if we need somebody who has that skills of negotiations, how many hours are going to be burned for the purpose of that project? And that's really important, that not only we have to calculate the skills, the competences, which are going to be appreciated for that project, but we also need to check how many hours. I don't want even to say how many people, but how many hours are going to be required and why. The reason is that probably if we're going to compare what kind of the skills and competences are required with what we have in the company, we will be able to check what is possible to be done. Because it may occur that if it is about those, let's say, negotiation skills, we need 40 hours on a monthly basis to be burned. And at the same time, I will see, oh, so if it is about that particular competences, there are several people in my whole organization that have that particular competence and skill very well developed. So I will see there is, for example, one person in marketing department, in sales department, in procurement department, maybe some other ones. And I will be able to also calculate how much occupied that person is right now. And I will be able to check, is it possible that this person is still going to work in that marketing, sales, or any other department, and at the same time will be involved for these 40 hours in the project? Or maybe if not, is it possible that this person is going to be redeployed? So we'll move from that initial department to my project or to another department or to another team. That's why I will have to calculate it. I will have to calculate it. If not, of course, I will still explore some external possibilities. But first of all, what I do is that I'm checking, I'm investigating what is possible from inside of the organization. That's why if we talk about that kind of the organization, the thing which is extremely important, it will be the proper resource allocation, because there has to be the person who is calculating what kind of the skills and what kind of the capacity is required and what is available inside of the organization. Otherwise, it wouldn't work at all. And then we would have the simple calculation. I need 10 people, so I have to employ 10 people. I need 5 people, so I need to just change somebody's scope of responsibilities, move the person from one department to another department, and that's how it's gonna work. And here I'm being a bit more, not even a bit more, sorry, I'm going to be much more effective because I will be just comparing and calculating what kind of skills I need, how many hours are required, and then just checking, do I have to move somebody permanently, or can I somehow combine the work of somebody in that traditional typical department or initial department and initial role, or do I have somehow to match it? And if we talk about the benefits, I would say there are plenty of them. To some extent, they're connected with the benefits that the company can perceive. But on the other hand, if I were to spot different kind of the benefits that employees are going to personally experience, definitely there are plenty of them. And where to start with? Probably from the company point of view, what is going to happen if we have this skills-based organization is that the organization is going to definitely have efficiency much more boosted. And what's the reason? The reason is that it can happen in the organization that we're going to see that there are some gaps in the company, that some kind of the processes, they're not so well developed, they're not so optimized as we would expect it. So normally in traditional organization, what we would do would be that we would maybe organize some kind of the recruitment process. Maybe would employ somebody from outside, or some external consultant would be hired just to be able to manage that particular inefficiency. And in that case, if I have skills-based organization, I'm checking, okay, so there is some kind of the inefficiency in my organization, some kind of the process is cumbersome, I have some kind of the gap. So what kind of the skills I need to be able to cover that gap? Maybe I need somebody who has very well developed project management skills. Okay, probably it will help and it will be something that will support my gap. So let me check whom I have in my company. Oh, there are a few people in different kind of the departments, in different kind of the teams. Let me check if they are available, if they have free slots, and maybe additionally, apart from the regular work, I will be able to involve them into that efficiency process. I don't have to involve a lot of people from outside. I don't have to onboard probably somebody so much. I have, let's say, the ready person with proper skills just to be able to participate in some project, in some initiative. So it will be definitely something what is going to ease my processes and increase definitely efficiency, especially if we talk about any kind of cumbersome processes. The other thing that the company can very simply face when they have this skills-based organization is innovation, proactive approach, and creativity. Why? Because if I work, again, in that traditional organizational structure, what is happening is that I work in HR department. Of course, I definitely have several possibilities of development. So I can work as the HR business partner. I can be probably moved to L&D department, like learning and development. I can execute probably some kind of HR administration task. So still, even within my department, I have plenty of possibilities of development. But to some extent, if I work only in HR department, I don't even know my potential. I even don't know what kind of the skills I have, because maybe there are some which are not possible to be applied in HR area. And only if I'm going to be able to participate in some interdisciplinary projects, in some multi-level initiatives, if I'm going to be involved in different kind of the departments, in the work of different kind of the professions, if I will have this possibility to participate in some mobility programs, I will see that from this multidimensional point of view, I can really develop a lot, and I can ignite my potential and cover several different kind of the possibilities. And if I see that that's what is happening in the company and I can just develop, definitely I will be more innovative, proactive, and more creative, because I will even discover some kind of the potential and some kind of the skills that in my area, first of all, I had no idea I have it. Secondly, I didn't have the possibility to discover and master some kind of the potential or skill. And of course, as the result, from the employee point of view, what is going to happen is that seeing all those possibilities, probably I won't be willing to leave my organization. Because if I have this traditional mindset, I will see, well, if I want to work in HR department, of course I want to develop from the position of junior partner to senior partner. Maybe I want to become the manager, but still I will have some narrow possibilities. But if I'm going to see that in fact my company offers me completely different kind of the possibilities, I will rather treat it not as one organization, but like the bunch of enterprises, divisions, and each kind of initiative will be like the separate work, separate job, separate type of the project that I'm going to be involved in. And that's why I will see, oh, there is no sense to leave my organization because there are so many of the possibilities that why should I even leave? I will definitely stay because one project is like one employment, it's like one company. Another project, it's something completely different. Or maybe to some extent I can combine and still I will work in HR, but I will participate in those different kind of the initiatives, which is perfect because I still have stability. I still have the possibility to develop as the expert. But apart from that, I can experiment a little bit with different kind of the possibilities. So from the employee point of view, I will feel, okay, that's the company for me because I can develop and develop. The same will be visible from the point of the candidate, because probably people from the market, when they are going to see that there are so many of the possibilities of development, they will wish to join the company. So automatically, from the employer branding point of view, from the reputation point of view, the organization will be able to attract many more talented people to their organization. And I said already about one of the aspects, which is definitely significant if we think about that skills-based organization. So that was about proper and wise resource allocation. And there is one more thing that I would underline. Of course, it doesn't mean that there are only two things, but those are the ones which I would like to emphasize talking today about the skills-based organization. So on one hand, it's about the resource allocation. But if we think about anything else, what is going to be important, I would say that that's the matter of simplifying the way how we manage skills in the organization. Because what happens in that traditional organizational structure is that probably we have, of course, a lot of tools, a lot of methods how to manage competences, but usually it will work that way that we're going to have some kind of the competency model. We're going to have maybe some kind of the matrix with very well defined competences. They will be reassigned also to the behaviors which are required from people. We'll have different kind of the levels just to see where people are if it is about their growth and development. But on the other hand, the managers who are responsible for their departments, if they are supposed to assess, to evaluate the competence of people, they will really need to invest a lot of time, effort, I would even say, to be able to do it. And for sure, if the process of assessing, evaluating competences is so complicated, I would even say, they won't be even physically and mentally able to go beyond their traditional departments and go beyond their teams. So if they are supposed to have the awareness and the knowledge, what about the competences in other areas? What kind of the competence are required in other departments, in other projects? What kind of the competences people in different areas have? No way it is going to be possible. Even HR department, I would say, who is responsible for that kind of the process, is not able to acquire, to possess all that kind of the knowledge. That's why if we're going to have some kind of the marketplace, some kind of the platform where the competences are just going to be listed with very simple definitions. We're going to see what competences we have, what kind of people have what competences. It is definitely going to be much easier because we will be able to match. Okay, that person has that kind of the competences. Another person, that kind of the competences. And on the other hand, we're also going to be able to see what kind of the competences are currently required in different kind of the areas. And then if the platform system is going to be simple, and that's about that, it's going to be simple, we can compare. Okay, so those are the competences that we have in our whole organization for the purpose of that particular project initiative. We need that list of the competences. We are just matching and we can see, okay, that person assigned to that project. That person can be assigned to that kind of the initiative. That person can be redeployed. That person can be so mobile that they are going to be able, for example, to move to another division, to another country. So we will be just comparing what we have, still having in mind the capacity, what we require, and we won't have to think only about our narrow scope of responsibilities and our department. So resource allocation, simple platform system for being able to compare what skills, competences we have, what is required, checking the capacity. And it will definitely work for the purpose of changing the approach to managing people, businesses, and competences. There are, of course, several other aspects how that skills-based organization can be managed, But let me skip it for now. Probably during our further podcasts or webinars, I'm going to concentrate still on some more innovative aspects related not only to based organization, but also to the way how we can manage people. The podcast is going to be available if we talk about our YouTube channel. So if you want, please follow us and listen to the plenty of others. Thank you very much for today.